My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe, because this is not an ordinary message crossing your path tonight. This is not coincidence, not algorithm, not chance. This is a divine interruption. On this very night, January 21st, as the clock moves toward 11 p.m., the heavens have leaned closer to you than they have in a long time. Archangel Michael stands with urgency, not anger, not fear, but holy intensity, begging you to open your heart now, because what you do in this moment decides whether the miracle you have waited for slips quietly past or finally manifests. Hear this clearly. There is a miracle assigned to your name. It was not delayed because you were unworthy. It was not denied because you failed. It had been waiting for alignment, and tonight is a gateway. The reason you feel restless, distracted, or unusually emotional right now is because your spirit recognizes the weight of this hour before your mind does. Beloved, Archangel Michael is not shouting, yet his presence shakes foundations. He says, do not postpone obedience tonight. There are moments in life when heaven whispers, and moments when heaven pleads. This is the second kind. Something has been forming behind the scenes for you, quietly, patiently, invisibly. You prayed for it months ago. You almost stopped believing it would happen. But it never stopped moving toward you. Listen carefully. If you close this message, if you dismiss this moment, it is not punishment that follows. It is postponement. And postponement hurts more than denial, because you will feel the echo of what almost arrived. This is why the urgency feels heavy. This is why Archangel Michael begs, not because heaven is weak, but because heaven respects your free will. My dear one, there is a pattern in your life that must break tonight. A cycle of hesitation, a habit of saying later, a tendency to doubt divine timing when it doesn't match your expectations. Archangel Michael reveals that the miracle you've been waiting for is not just about blessing. It is about protection, about removing something that has quietly drained you, about exposing a truth that had been hidden too long. Do not be afraid of what will be revealed. Exposure is not destruction. Exposure is liberation. What comes into the light tonight can't control you tomorrow. And yes, this revelation may involve a person, a situation, or even a version of yourself you've outgrown. But know this, nothing will be taken unless something greater is ready to replace it. Beloved child, you are closer than you think. The reason this message reached you at night is because night represents transition. Day is certainty, night is faith. At 11 p.m., when the world grows quiet, the spiritual realm grows louder. Archangel Michael stands guard at thresholds, and tonight he guards yours. He says, open this message fully, not halfway. Do not listen with divided attention. Do not let fear interpret what love is trying to explain. Because the miracle waiting for you does not come wrapped the way you imagine. It comes with instructions. It comes with a decision. It comes with courage. There is something you have been sensing but avoiding. A nudge you kept ignoring. A truth you felt but didn't want to name. Tonight, that inner knowing becomes impossible to ignore. Not to shame you, but to free you. Heaven is not accusing you. Heaven is aligning you. My beloved, understand this. Miracles are not random gifts dropped from the sky. They are intersections where divine readiness meets human willingness. Archangel Michael is asking you one question tonight, and everything depends on how your spirit answers it. Will you trust me even now? Because once this door opens, things will move quickly. Conversations you didn't plan. Opportunities you didn't expect. Distance from what once felt familiar. This is why hesitation feels tempting. But delay is the enemy of destiny. Hear me. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. But you are standing at the edge of a moment that cannot be carried forever. Heaven has brought it to your doorstep. What happens next requires your attention, your faith, and your yes. Stay with this message. Let it unfold. Because what Archangel Michael is about to reveal next explains why this miracle waited until now, and why losing focus at this hour would cost more than you realize. My dear one, listen gently but deeply now, because what unfolds in this moment explains why tonight carries such weight. Archangel Michael reveals that this hour was marked long before you felt the ache of waiting. Heaven did not forget your prayers. It preserved them. Each tear, each silent hope, each night you questioned whether God still saw you, none of it was wasted. It was stored, counted, and protected until the precise moment your spirit could carry what was coming next. There is a reason the message comes late at night. When noise fades, truth rises. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, not as a distant warrior, but as a guardian who knows your name. He says the miracle you've been waiting for has been circling you, looking for a door that stayed open long enough. Fear kept closing it. Doubt kept locking it. Comfort kept delaying it. But tonight, the door is unlocked again. Beloved, understand this clearly. Miracles require movement. Not frantic effort, not perfection, but willingness. Heaven moves when you move. Archangel Michael shows that you were protected from receiving this blessing too early because it would have crushed you instead of crowned you. You had to grow into the version of yourself that could steward it without losing your peace. There is also something else being revealed. Someone around you has influenced your decisions more than you realized. Not through control, but through subtle discouragement. Their words shaped your expectations. Their fear echoed in your choices. Archangel Michael says this influence is losing its hold tonight. You are being invited to hear God's voice again without interference. This is why your spirit feels alert right now. This is why sleep feels distant. Heaven is realigning your inner hearing. And as this alignment happens, clarity follows. You will suddenly know what to say yes to and what to step away from. Confusion will lift. Hesitation will weaken. Courage will return quietly but firmly. Beloved, Archangel Michael reminds you that obedience is not loud. Sometimes it is a simple decision made in stillness. A shift in attitude. A release of resentment. A refusal to settle for less than what God promised. Tonight, you are being asked to participate, not spectate. As you receive this message, I invite you to take a small but powerful step. Let your presence be known. Like this message if your spirit feels stirred. Share it with someone who hath been waiting in silence. Leave a comment declaring that you are open and ready. Subscribe to this channel and join this growing family, because these messages are not random. They are assignments. When you engage, you align. When you align, you receive. Archangel Michael says there is strength in agreement. When you support this message, when you stay connected, you are not just watching, you are standing in formation. Heaven responds to unity faster than isolation. Do not underestimate what simple actions activate in the spiritual realm. Beloved child, the miracle approaching you carries responsibility. It will require boundaries you once avoided. It will require discipline you once delayed. But it will also bring relief you desperately need. The weight you've been carrying alone will finally be shared with heaven. Here is something else Archangel Michael wants you to know. Timing is protection. If this miracle had come earlier, you would have misinterpreted it. You would have attached it to the wrong people, the wrong motives, the wrong expectations. Now you are ready to see clearly. Pay attention in the coming days. Signs will appear subtly. Repeated thoughts. Confirming words. Doors opening without struggle. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Heaven speaks in patterns before it speaks in outcomes. Beloved, do not rush ahead in excitement, and do not shrink back in fear. Walk steadily. Stay prayerful. Stay receptive. This channel exists to walk with you through these moments. Subscribe, stay connected, and allow these messages to keep your spirit tuned. What is coming next will make sense only if you remain present. Archangel Michael leans close and says, "You have waited long enough. Now wait wisely." That means guarding your peace, protecting your focus, and honoring the moment you are in. Do not numb yourself with distraction. Do not talk yourself out of what you feel tonight. Hold on, because what unfolds next will connect the final pieces you've been missing, and you will understand why staying with this message matters more than you realize right now. Beloved soul, lean in now, because Archangel Michael reveals something sacred that many never hear at the right time. The miracle you have been waiting for is not delayed in the way you think. It has been waiting for a specific inner posture. Heaven has been watching how you respond when things do not make sense, how you speak when prayers feel unanswered, how you treat yourself when hope grows thin. Tonight, that evaluation reaches its turning point. Archangel Michael speaks with clarity and compassion, saying that your miracle is not just an event, it is a crossing. Once you step into it, you cannot return to who you were before. That is why resistance has appeared. That is why distractions tried to pull you away tonight. Not because you are weak, but because what comes next requires a stronger, clearer version of you. There is a hidden strength inside you that have been sleeping. It was covered by disappointment, weighed down by overthinking, silenced by comparison. Archangel Michael says this strength awakens when truth is accepted without argument. And the truth is this: you are chosen for more than survival. You are chosen for influence, for restoration, for light that reaches beyond your own life. This is why the miracle has weight. It will affect others connected to you, family members, future decisions, doors that open because you walk through yours first. Heaven never blesses in isolation. Every answered prayer becomes a seed for someone else's breakthrough. Beloved, there is also a warning wrapped in love tonight. Archangel Michael shows that impatience can cause you to mishandle what arrives. Do not rush the unfolding. Do not announce it too early. Protect what God is birthing in silence. Some blessings grow best when they are not constantly exposed to outside voices. You may notice emotions rising unexpectedly. Joy mixed with fear. Excitement touched by doubt. This does not mean you are unstable. It means you are standing at the edge of expansion. Growth always stretches before it settles. Archangel Michael stands beside you in this stretch, ensuring nothing tears what God is enlarging. Hear this carefully. The miracle you've been waiting for is not meant to prove anything to anyone. It is meant to align you with heaven's purpose. Do not measure it by applause. Measure it by peace. When it arrives, you will feel calm, not chaotic. Grounded, not overwhelmed. Certain, even if details are still unfolding. Beloved child, Archangel Michael also reveals that forgiveness plays a role tonight. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. There is a release happening now that clears spiritual space. When you let go, you make room. When you make room, heaven fills it quickly. There is a divine exchange taking place. Old expectations for new direction. Old timelines for divine timing. Old fear for holy confidence. This exchange happens quietly, internally, but its effects will be visible soon. Pay attention to your dreams, your thoughts, your sudden clarity over the next few days. These are not random. They are instructions layered in peace. Archangel Michael assures you that you will not miss what is meant for you when your heart stays open and your spirit stays humble. Beloved, this message did not find you by accident. You were guided here because your spirit was ready to hear truth without resistance. And now, something activates. Type "I receive divine timing" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 8899 has just been released. And now hear this sacred invitation flowing directly from what you have just received. This work exists so that souls like yours do not miss moments like this. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are placing oil into the lamp that carries God's word to those still waiting in the dark. The Lord says, as you release, I release. As you water, you will be watered in return. I am speaking directly to you now, because your support is not a donation. It is obedience aligned with heaven's timing. This is the hour to act, not later, not someday. I declare that every seed you sow will return multiplied in peace, clarity, and provision. Support now, and let your obedience become part of someone else's miracle. The PayPal link is waiting in the description. My beloved child, allow your heart to settle as this message deepens, because what Archangel Michael reveals now explains the unseen resistance you have felt for so long. There has been a quiet battle around your consistency. Not your faith, not your belief in God, but your ability to remain steady when results were invisible. Heaven noticed how often you stood strong, and heaven also noticed the moments you almost withdrew. Neither disqualified you. Both taught you something essential. Archangel Michael says that the miracle approaching your life carries momentum. Once it begins, it will not require chasing, forcing, or proving. But before momentum comes alignment. And alignment requires awareness. Tonight, your awareness is sharpening. You are beginning to see why certain doors never opened, why some relationships dissolved without explanation, and why delays kept appearing just when you felt close. Beloved, nothing was wasted. What felt like loss was actually subtraction. Heaven was removing weights that would have slowed you down later. Some people were not removed because they were bad, but because they were incompatible with where you are going. Archangel Michael says this clearly: what cannot follow you must fall away. This is not cruelty. This is mercy. You may feel moments of grief when you reflect on what could have been. That grief is human. Do not shame yourself for it. But do not build a home there. What is ahead of you carries more substance than what you left behind ever could. And once you step fully into it, you will understand why separation was necessary. There is a shift happening in how you perceive yourself. For a long time, you underestimated your spiritual authority. You waited for permission. You waited for confirmation from others. You waited to feel ready. Archangel Michael says readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. And that decision is forming quietly inside you right now. Beloved child, the miracle you've been waiting for is connected to responsibility. Heaven trusts you more than you trust yourself. That is why preparation took time. That is why pruning felt uncomfortable. God does not place weight on weak foundations. You were strengthened before you were elevated. Archangel Michael reveals that the next season of your life will require discernment more than effort. You will need to recognize what is aligned and what is simply attractive. Not every open door is yours. Not every opportunity carries peace. But heaven will guide you clearly if you stay attentive. This is why silence had been important. This is why distractions were exposed. This is why rest became necessary. You are being trained to hear before you move, to sense before you speak, to trust before you see. These are marks of spiritual maturity, not delay. Beloved, you are also being invited to release comparison completely. What God is doing in you does not need to look like what He is doing in others. Archangel Michael says comparison distorts vision. When you look sideways, you miss what is forming directly ahead. Stay focused on your assignment. Stay rooted in your pace. There is a calm strength replacing the urgency you once felt. This is a sign of alignment. When you are out of alignment, everything feels rushed. When you are aligned, even waiting feels purposeful. That calm you feel now is not resignation. It is confidence growing quietly. Pay attention to how your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered you no longer hold the same power. Conversations that once strained you feel easier to navigate. This is evidence that healing is happening beneath the surface. Archangel Michael stands guard over this healing, ensuring it completes its work. Beloved child, understand this. Miracles are not just received, they are sustained. And sustainability requires wisdom. You are gaining that wisdom now. Not through lectures or instructions, but through lived experience. This is why your testimony will carry weight when the time comes. Do not rush to explain your journey to people who were not meant to walk it with you. Silence is not secrecy. Silence is stewardship. Protect what God is growing. Let fruit speak later. Archangel Michael says the days ahead will feel lighter, not because everything is resolved, but because you are no longer carrying what was never yours to hold. Trust this release. Trust this peace. Trust the process unfolding now. Remain present. Remain open. What comes next will confirm everything you have felt tonight. Beloved one, receive this with stillness, because Archangel Michael now draws your attention to something very delicate yet powerful taking place within you. There is a reordering happening in your inner world. Desires are shifting. Priorities are rearranging themselves without force. Things you once chased no longer call to you the same way. This is not loss of passion. This is refinement of purpose. Archangel Michael says that many of your past prayers were sincere, but they were shaped by the version of you that existed then. Heaven honored your heart, but heaven also protected your future by not answering too quickly. Tonight, you are no longer asking from desperation. You are listening from alignment. That difference changes everything. You may feel moments of quiet confidence rising unexpectedly. Not arrogance, not pride, but a grounded knowing that you are not alone and never were. This confidence does not shout. It settles. It anchors. It allows you to breathe again. Archangel Michael confirms this is the result of trust rebuilding itself inside you. Beloved, the miracle you are approaching requires you to see yourself correctly. For too long, you measured your worth by outcomes. Success meant approval. Delay meant failure. Archangel Michael gently corrects this thinking. Heaven measures you by obedience, not outcome. Faithfulness, not speed. Surrender, not struggle. This is why pressure is lifting. You are no longer trying to earn what was already promised. You are learning how to receive without apology. This shift is subtle, but it changes how you move, how you speak, how you decide. There is also a release happening around guilt. Guilt for past choices. Guilt for missed opportunities. Guilt for not being further along. Archangel Michael says this guilt does not come from God. It has served its purpose and must leave now. Guilt clouds discernment. Freedom sharpens it. As this release takes place, you may notice memories resurfacing briefly, not to haunt you but to close cycles. When they come, do not resist. Acknowledge them, bless the lesson, and let them pass. Closure is a gift you are finally allowing yourself to receive. Beloved child, the miracle ahead will invite you to lead in some capacity. Not necessarily publicly, but influence will increase. People will seek your counsel. Your words will carry weight. This is why humility has been emphasized in your preparation. Influence without humility damages both the giver and the receiver. Archangel Michael assures you that you will not be overwhelmed by what comes next. Grace will meet responsibility at every step. Provision will meet obedience. Strength will meet demand. Heaven never sends without sustaining. Notice how your prayer life is changing. Fewer words, deeper trust, less explanation, more listening. This is maturity. This is intimacy. God is not distant from you. He is closer than ever, and silence is becoming a shared language rather than an absence. Beloved, you are also learning to discern timing. Not everything must be addressed immediately. Not every emotion requires reaction. Wisdom is teaching you restraint, and restraint is protecting your peace. Archangel Michael smiles upon this growth because it ensures longevity in what God is building. There is a temptation that will arise soon to rush ahead out of excitement. Be aware of it, but do not fear it. Excitement is natural. Just anchor it in prayer. Ask before acting. Pause before committing. Heaven will respond quickly when your heart stays teachable. You may feel drawn to simplify aspects of your life. Fewer distractions. Clear routines. Healthy boundaries. This is not restriction. This is optimization. You are creating space for something sacred to move freely. Beloved child, Archangel Michael reminds you that miracles often arrive quietly, then reveal their magnitude over time. Do not dismiss small beginnings. What seems minor at first will grow steadily if nurtured with faith and patience. Remain grounded. Remain grateful. Gratitude keeps your heart open without demanding control. Each thank you strengthens alignment. Each moment of trust deepens the flow. What you are becoming matters just as much as what you will receive. And heaven is pleased with both. Stay attentive. Stay gentle with yourself. What unfolds next will confirm that this preparation was necessary and that you are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child, receive this with focus now, because Archangel Michael turns your attention to the practical unfolding of what heaven has prepared. Spiritual alignment always produces real-world movement. What shifts inside you does not stay hidden for long. Soon, choices will present themselves, conversations will surface, and paths will appear that require discernment rather than impulse. Archangel Michael says the coming phase of your life will test not your faith, but your follow-through. You have believed before. You have hoped before. But now, heaven watches how you walk once clarity arrives. The miracle you have been waiting for will not shout its arrival. It will knock gently, disguised as an invitation that requires courage to accept. Beloved, you may notice that familiar comforts begin to feel restrictive. Old routines feel tight. Old excuses feel hollow. This is not dissatisfaction. This is expansion. When your spirit outgrows a space, staying there becomes uncomfortable. Archangel Michael assures you this discomfort is not meant to push you into fear, but to guide you into obedience. There will be moments where doing the right thing feels lonely, not because God has left, but because not everyone is meant to walk this stretch with you. Some people were assigned to your past, not your future. Letting go does not mean rejecting them. It means honoring the season for what it was. Beloved child, the miracle approaching you also requires stewardship. What you prayed for must be maintained. What you receive must be guarded. Archangel Michael emphasizes consistency over intensity. Small faithful actions repeated daily will protect what grand emotional moments cannot. This is why discipline is becoming attractive to you. You are no longer chasing feelings. You are building foundations. Prayer becomes quieter but stronger. Decisions become slower but wiser. This is not loss of fire. This is fire contained properly so it can last. Archangel Michael also reveals that support matters in this season. Isolation weakens discernment. Connection strengthens it. This is why you were guided to this message and this channel. You are not meant to walk this journey alone. There is power in agreement and growth in shared vision. So I ask you now, from a place of alignment, engage with this message. Like it if it resonates. Share it with someone who needs confirmation tonight. Leave a comment declaring that you are ready to move forward without fear. Subscribe to this channel and stay connected, because what is unfolding will require reminders, guidance, and spiritual covering. When you participate, you position yourself. When you stay connected, you stay aligned. Beloved, Archangel Michael says that hesitation has cost you peace before. This time, do not let it. You are not being rushed, but you are being invited. Invitations expire when ignored too long. Not because heaven withdraws, but because seasons shift. Discernment means recognizing when to act. You may feel moments of doubt whispering questions like, what if I fail? Or what if I misheard? Archangel Michael responds gently. Obedience does not require full understanding, only sincere trust. God corrects direction, not surrender. You will not be abandoned mid-step. Notice how courage is showing up differently now. It is not loud confidence. It is calm resolve. It is the ability to say no without guilt and yes without panic. This courage is evidence of maturity, not fearlessness. Beloved child, the miracle you are approaching is not fragile. It does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present. When mistakes happen, grace will adjust. When confusion arises, wisdom will clarify. Heaven is invested in your journey. Be mindful of distractions that appear suddenly. Not all distractions are bad. Some are simply mistimed. Learn to prioritize what aligns with peace. Archangel Michael says peace is your compass in this season. If something robs you of peace repeatedly, examine it carefully. Hold on to this moment. Let it anchor you. What comes next will require you to remember what you felt when truth settled instead of rushed. This grounding will keep you steady when movement increases. And before you move forward, pause with me here. There is more clarity coming, and you will want to receive it without rushing past. Trust me, what unfolds next will connect the spiritual with the practical in a way you have not experienced before. Beloved soul, remain attentive, because Archangel Michael now unveils a deeper layer of what had been happening around you. There has been a quiet rearranging in the spiritual atmosphere connected to your name. Things that once resisted you are beginning to loosen. Barriers that felt immovable are weakening, not through force, but through divine authority. This is not something you caused by effort. It is something heaven initiated because the time is right. Archangel Michael says that persistence has been your offering. Even when you felt unseen, you kept moving forward. Even when clarity was absent, you chose not to turn bitter. A choice mattered more than you realize. Heaven responds not just to prayer, but to posture. Your posture of endurance has spoken loudly in the unseen realm. You may begin to notice subtle confirmations appearing in your daily life. But be in words, familiar themes resurfacing, unexpected encouragement from unlikely sources. These are not coincidences. They are echoes. Heaven is echoing back what you released in faith months ago, reminding you that nothing spoken in sincerity is ever lost. Beloved, Archangel Michael also addresses a quiet fear you have carried, the fear of disappointment. Not the kind that comes from failure, but the kind that comes from hope rising again after being hurt. This fear has tried to protect you by keeping expectations low. But tonight, that protection is no longer needed. Guarded hearts cannot fully receive open-handed blessings. It is safe to hope again. Not recklessly, not blindly, but faithfully. Hope anchored in God does not shame you when it stretches. It strengthens you. Archangel Michael assures you that what is coming will not mock your faith. It will honor it. There is also a restoration happening in how you view God's character. Somewhere along the journey, unanswered prayers made you question whether heaven was silent or distant. Archangel Michael corrects this gently. Silence was not absence. Delay was not rejection. God has been closer than you thought, shaping you while protecting you. Beloved child, you are stepping into a season where discernment will sharpen naturally. You will sense when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to move and when to wait. This intuition is not guesswork. It is spiritual sensitivity maturing through trust. Pay attention to how your reactions are changing under pressure. Where you once panicked, you now pause. Where you once over-explained, you now rest. This is evidence of internal healing. Archangel Michael says healing is not loud. It reveals itself through steadiness. The miracle you are approaching will require emotional maturity. Not emotional suppression, but emotional regulation. You are learning not to let emotions drive decisions, but to let wisdom guide responses. This balance will protect what God is giving you. Beloved, there is also a renewed sense of identity forming. You are no longer defining yourself by what went wrong or what didn't work out. You are beginning to see yourself as someone in process, not someone behind. This shift may feel subtle, but it changes everything. Archangel Michael says that comparison will attempt to resurface as movement increases. Resist it. What God is doing in you is custom built. Your timing, your path, your outcome will not mirror anyone else's. Stay focused on your lane. Speed comes naturally when direction is clear. You may feel drawn to prayer that feels simpler, more honest, fewer formal words, more direct conversation. This is intimacy deepening. God is not asking for performance. He is inviting partnership. Speak as you are. Listen as you are. Heaven meets you there. Beloved child, understand that what is unfolding now is cumulative. Nothing stands alone. Each lesson prepared you for the next. Each delay refined you. Each disappointment redirected you. When the miracle becomes visible, it will feel sudden to others, but you will know it was built slowly. There will be a moment soon where you realize something shifted permanently. Not emotionally, but spiritually. A quiet knowing that you crossed a line you will never step back over. That knowing will anchor you when challenges arise. Archangel Michael stands watch over this transition. You are not navigating it alone. Strength is being supplied daily, even when you don't consciously ask for it. Grace is filling gaps you cannot see. Remain patient with yourself. Growth is still happening. Remain faithful to what you know to do now. Obedience in small things sustains big blessings. Stay with this message. What comes next will reveal how this inner transformation begins to show itself outwardly, and why the next steps matter more than ever before. Beloved child, receive this with reverence, because Archangel Michael now speaks about the visible shift that is about to unfold. What had been happening inside you is preparing to express itself outwardly. Inner alignment always produces external evidence. You may not be able to name it yet, but something around you is already responding differently. Doors that resisted you are softening. Conversations that felt impossible are becoming easier. Opportunities that once felt distant are beginning to move closer. Archangel Michael says this is the stage where many people become fearful, not because things are going wrong, but because things are finally changing. Familiar struggle feels safer than unfamiliar peace. But do not retreat now. You did not endure all those silent nights just to stop at the edge of fulfillment. Beloved, the miracle you have been waiting for carries visibility. It will not remain hidden forever. At the right moment, it will be seen, acknowledged, and recognized. This is why humility has been cultivated in you so deeply. Visibility without humility creates pride. Visibility with humility releases input. There will be a moment where you are invited to step forward in a way that feels bigger than you. Your first instinct may be to question whether you are qualified. Archangel Michael answers clearly. Qualification came through preparation, not perfection. You are ready because heaven decided you were, not because you feel fearless. You may also notice increased spiritual sensitivity. You will feel when something is off, even if you cannot explain it logically. Trust this discernment. It is not suspicion. It is wisdom. Archangel Michael reminds you that discernment is a gift meant to protect peace, not to create fear. Beloved child, this season will require you to speak truth kindly but firmly. No more shrinking to keep others comfortable. No more silencing yourself to avoid conflict. This does not mean becoming harsh. It means becoming honest. Heaven will support you as long as love remains your motive. As movement increases, rest becomes even more important. Do not confuse momentum with burnout. Archangel Michael says rest is not laziness, it is alignment. Make space for stillness, because clarity deepens when the soul is not exhausted. There may be people who question your changes. They may say you are different. They are right. Growth always looks strange to those who knew the old version of you. You do not need to defend yourself. Fruit explains itself in time. Beloved, there is also a divine protection being activated around you now. What once drained you will no longer have easy access. Boundaries will feel natural instead of forced. Peace will become non-negotiable. This protection ensures longevity in what God is building. Archangel Michael reveals that this miracle is not just about addition, but multiplication. What God gives you will have the ability to bless others beyond your immediate reach. This is why obedience matters so deeply. Your yes carries impact beyond what you can see. As this realization settles, let gratitude rise naturally. Gratitude keeps the heart soft while responsibility increases. It reminds you that everything good originates from God, not self-effort. Beloved child, take a moment now to acknowledge what is happening internally. You are no longer the same person who started waiting. You are wiser, stronger, more discerning. This transformation is part of the miracle itself. Type "I am ready" for the shift in the comments if your spirit recognizes this moment. Blessing code 1447 has just been activated. And now, as this truth settles into your heart, hear this divine invitation flowing seamlessly from what you've just received. This message continues to reach souls because obedience fuels it. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are sowing into a river of light that carries God's word to those standing where you once stood. The Lord declares, "Whoever sows generously will also reap generously," and this word is alive and directed toward you right now. I am speaking to you personally, because your support is not financial, it is prophetic alignment. This is not a suggestion, this is a moment of obedience. I release blessing over every seed you sow, declaring open heavens, multiply provision, and peace that overflows into every area of your life. Act now, and let your giving become part of someone else's breakthrough. The PayPal link is waiting in the description. Beloved one, remain steady now, because Archangel Michael draws your attention to the internal balance required for what is coming next. Momentum has begun, but wisdom must now guide it. Many people stumble not before the miracle, but after it begins, when excitement tries to replace discernment. Heaven is not only interested in delivering you to blessing, but in keeping you there. Archangel Michael says this next phase will teach you how to hold increase without anxiety. When things start moving, your mind may try to anticipate outcomes, plan too far ahead, or secure everything at once. Gently release that impulse. Control creates tension. Trust sustains peace. You are not meant to carry tomorrow's weight today. There will be decisions placed before you that look good on the surface, but do not align with your deeper peace. This is where maturity is proven. You no longer have to accept everything that is offered just because it once would have impressed you. Archangel Michael reminds you that discernment often sounds like calm restraint, not dramatic refusal. Beloved child, you are learning how to respond rather than react. This is new territory for you. In the past, urgency pushed you into quick answers. Now, wisdom invites you to pause. Silence will become a powerful tool. You will notice that when you wait before responding, clarity meets you naturally. There is also a lesson unfolding around trusting God's pacing. You may feel moments where things seem slower than expected after initial movement. Do not interpret this as loss of favor. Rhythm is different from delay. Heaven moves in patterns that protect sustainability. Fast beginnings without structure collapse easily. What God is building in you is meant to last. Archangel Michael also speaks about emotional boundaries. As your life begins to reflect growth, others may project expectations onto you. Some will want access to your time, energy, or decisions simply because you are available or capable. This is where wisdom must guard compassion. You are allowed to say no without explanation. You are allowed to choose rest without guilt. Beloved, the miracle you are stepping into will require you to honor your limits. Limits are not weakness. They are design. Even heaven operates within order. When you respect your limits, you protect what God has entrusted to you. You may notice that your prayers are becoming more specific and less frantic. This is evidence of trust deepening. You are no longer begging for rescue. You are asking for guidance. That shift changes the atmosphere of your prayer life. God responds differently to sons and daughters who trust His character. Archangel Michael reveals that clarity will continue arriving in layers. Do not rush to define everything immediately. Some things will make sense only after you take the next step. Light is given for the path you are currently on, not the entire journey at once. This keeps you dependent without being afraid. Beloved child, there is also a strengthening of your inner authority happening now. You are beginning to trust your decisions without constantly seeking validation. This does not mean you reject counsel. It means you are no longer ruled by opinion. Your confidence is becoming quieter, but firmer. You may experience moments where old insecurities attempt to resurface. They will feel familiar but weaker. When they arise, do not wrestle them. Simply acknowledge that they no longer have permission to lead. Growth does not erase memory, but it removes power. Archangel Michael assures you that heaven is watching how you handle peace. Chaos once felt normal to you. Calm may feel unfamiliar at first. Let it settle. Do not create problems to feel productive. Stillness is not stagnation. Sometimes, stillness is evidence that alignment has been achieved. There will be confirmation soon that reassure you that you are on the right path. Not loud signs, but gentle affirmations. A sense of rightness. Doors opening without strain. Conversations aligning naturally. These are markers of divine flow. Beloved, stay anchored in gratitude. Gratitude keeps you grounded when visibility increases. It reminds you that everything you are stepping into began with grace, not effort. Each thank you keeps your heart soft and your spirit receptive. Archangel Michael stands watch as you learn to walk in this new balance. You are not expected to master everything instantly. You are expected to remain teachable. Heaven corrects gently where humility is present. Remain faithful in small disciplines. Consistency will protect what passion alone cannot. What you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. Hold steady. What comes next will challenge you to apply everything you have been learning. And when that moment arrives, you will realize you were prepared more than you thought. My beloved child, stay fully present now, because Archangel Michael brings your attention to a decisive stretch of your journey. This is where intention must become action, and insight must turn into consistency. What you have received so far was preparation, but what comes next requires participation. Heaven has done much behind the scenes, but now your cooperation matters more than ever. Archangel Michael says this is the season where distractions will try to masquerade as opportunities. Not everything that sparkles is sent by God. Some things are simply tests of focus. You are learning to recognize what feeds your spirit versus what merely entertains your emotions. This discernment will protect your momentum. Beloved, you may notice an increase in responsibility. Not burdensome responsibility, but meaningful stewardship. People may look to you for clarity. Situations may require your input. Do not shrink from this. You have been prepared quietly for influence. Influence does not always come with a platform. Sometimes it comes with presence. There is also a call to consistency being emphasized now. Inspiration is powerful, but discipline sustains growth. Archangel Michael reminds you that even small daily commitments carry spiritual weight. Prayer that feels ordinary still shapes outcomes. Faithfulness in routine still moves heaven. You may feel moments where enthusiasm dips slightly. This is normal. This is where maturity replaces emotion. Do not interpret quieter days as loss of calling. Seasons of building often feel less dramatic than seasons of breakthrough, but they are just as important. Beloved child, the miracle you are stepping into will require protection from complacency. When things begin to work, the temptation is to relax vigilance. Stay aware. Stay prayerful. Gratitude keeps you alert without making you anxious. Archangel Michael also highlights the importance of community in this phase. Growth is reinforced when it is witnessed. This is why connection matters. This is why engaging matters. So I invite you now, from a place of alignment, to actively be part of this space. Like this message if it confirms what you are experiencing. Share it with someone who is standing at a similar threshold. Leave a comment declaring your readiness to move forward with wisdom. Subscribe to this channel and stay connected, because these messages are not random encouragements. They are guidance for moments like this. When you support and engage, you strengthen the flow of what you are receiving. Beloved, there is a quiet confidence forming in you that does not need external validation. You are learning to trust the process without needing constant reassurance. This confidence is rooted, not reactive. It allows you to move forward steadily, even when outcomes are still forming. Archangel Michael says patience will be rewarded soon. Not because you waited perfectly, but because you waited faithfully. Faithfulness attracts favor over time. What is delayed is not denied when heaven is involved. There may be moments ahead where you are tempted to revisit old habits simply because they feel familiar. Resist this gently. You are not going backward. Familiarity does not equal safety. Growth often feels unfamiliar before it feels stable. Beloved child, pay attention to your inner dialogue. How you speak to yourself matters. Replace self-criticism with truth. Replace doubt with remembrance. You are not guessing your way forward. You are being guided. Archangel Michael assures you that mistakes made in humility will not derail you. God redirects the willing, not the perfect. Keep your heart soft. Correction will come as clarity, not condemnation. There is also a renewed sense of purpose anchoring you now. Not urgency, but direction. You are beginning to sense where to invest your time, energy, and prayer. This clarity will sharpen further as you move. Before you continue on with your day or night, pause here for a moment. Let this truth settle. You will want to carry this awareness into what comes next, because the next phase will require calm confidence rather than rushed decisions. Stay with this message, because what unfolds next will bring final alignment to everything you have been sensing but could not yet explain. Beloved one, receive this with a settled heart, because Archangel Michael now speaks about completion and convergence. You are entering a phase where scattered pieces begin to come together. Things that once felt disconnected, events, lessons, delays, even disappointments, are aligning into a single, coherent story. What confused you before will soon make sense, not all at once, but enough to strengthen your trust. Archangel Michael says this is the stage where faith matures into quiet certainty. You no longer need constant signs to believe. You no longer need reassurance at every step. Something inside you has anchored itself deeply, and that anchor will hold even when circumstances shift. This is not stubbornness. This is spiritual stability. Beloved child, there is an internal settlement happening. Questions that once demanded answers are losing their urgency. You are learning that not every mystery must be solved immediately. Some truths reveal themselves only after obedience, not before it. This realization is freeing you from mental exhaustion. You may notice that your reactions to uncertainty are calmer now. Where anxiety once rushed in, patience now takes its place. This does not mean you stopped caring. It means you started trusting. Archangel Michael says trust is the highest form of spiritual rest. It allows God to work without interference. There is also a closing of old emotional loops. Patterns of self-doubt, overthinking, and second-guessing are weakening. They may still appear, but they no longer dominate. When they surface, you recognize them for what they are, echoes of a season that is ending. Beloved, this phase also brings discernment about relationships. Not everyone who has access to you deserves influence over you. You are learning the difference between connection and assignment. Some people are meant to walk with you briefly. Others are meant to walk deeply. Wisdom will guide you in knowing the difference without resentment. Archangel Michael emphasizes that peace will be your confirmation moving forward. Not excitement, not pressure, not urgency, but peace. When a decision aligns with heaven, it carries peace even if it requires courage. When something is misaligned, it will create unrest even if it looks good externally. Trust this indicator. You may feel a renewed desire for simplicity, less noise, fewer explanations, clear priorities. This is not withdrawal, this is refinement. As purpose clarifies, excess falls away naturally. You are not losing anything of value. You are shedding what no longer serves the calling ahead. Beloved child, the miracle you have been waiting for is closer than you think, but it will arrive into a life that looks different than before. You will not receive it as the anxious version of yourself, or the doubting version, or the exhausted version. You will receive it as someone grounded, aware, and ready to steward it well. Archangel Michael also reminds you that completion does not mean perfection. You will still be learning. There will still be growth. But the foundation is now strong enough to build upon without constant repair. This is what heaven was waiting for. Pay attention to how your prayers are changing again. They may feel quieter, but more confident. Less about what you want God to do, and more about how you want to walk with Him. This shift signals maturity. God delights in partnership more than petition. Beloved, you are also being prepared for testimony. Not dramatic storytelling, but live evidence. People will notice your peace before they hear your words. Your consistency will speak louder than explanations. This is influence rooted in authenticity. Archangel Michael says the final alignment requires one thing from you. Remain present. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not replay the past emotionally. Stay anchored in what God is doing now. Presence allows you to receive fully when the moment arrives. There may be a temptation to relax your vigilance because things feel stable. Do not become careless, but do not become fearful either. Balance is key. Stay prayerful without becoming anxious. Stay disciplined without becoming rigid. Beloved child, you have crossed many thresholds already. This one feels quieter, but it is just as significant. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment that will feel natural rather than overwhelming. That is how you will know it is from God. Remain open. Remain humble. Remain thankful. What comes next will seal everything you have been learning, and when it does, you will recognize it, not with shock, but with deep, settled knowing. My beloved child, receive this final word with a quiet and open heart, because Archangel Michael now speaks of fulfillment, sealing, and divine confirmation. What you have been walking through was not just preparation, it was positioning. You were being moved, shaped, and aligned so that when the miracle arrived, it would not overwhelm you, confuse you, or be wasted. Tonight, heaven declares that the cycle of waiting has reached its appointed end. Archangel Michael says there is a spiritual seal being placed over your life now. A seal of clarity, a seal of peace, a seal of protection. What God releases next will not be easily shaken because it is anchored in who you have become, not just what you receive. This is why the journey felt long. You were not being delayed, you were being fortified. Beloved, the miracle you have been waiting for will not arrive with chaos. It will arrive with recognition. You will know it when it comes, not because it is loud, but because it fits. It will align with your peace. It will confirm what your spirit already sensed. There will be a moment where you simply say, "This is it," without needing to convince yourself. Archangel Michael reveals that some miracles arrive disguised as endings. An ending of striving, an ending of confusion, an ending of cycles that drain you. Do not mourn what closes now. Thank God for the strength it gave you, then step forward freely, What ends today makes room for what must now begin. Beloved child, there is also restoration being released. Not just restoration of what was lost, but restoration of confidence, identity, and trust. You will notice yourself moving differently, speaking differently, choosing differently. This is evidence that healing is no longer theoretical, it is active. You may not see everything immediately, but you will feel the shift internally first. A deep calm, a sense of right timing, a release of urgency. These are signs that alignment has been completed. Heaven does not rush what it has already secured. Archangel Michael says you are entering a season where gratitude will flow naturally, not forced. Gratitude will rise because you finally see why things happened the way they did. Perspective is part of the miracle. Understanding is part of the reward. Beloved, this final alignment also comes with responsibility. Walk gently. Stay prayerful. Protect your peace. Not everyone needs access to your next season. Share wisely. Move humbly. Remain teachable. These qualities will sustain what God has released. There will be moments where you look back and realize how far you've come. Do not minimize that journey. Celebrate it quietly. Your endurance honored heaven more than you know. Archangel Michael stands as witness to every unseen step you took. Now receive this activation with faith and clarity. Type "I step into my miracle" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 2024 is now sealed over your life. And as this divine message comes to rest in your spirit, hear this final sacred invitation flowing naturally from what God has just completed in you. This word continues to reach souls because obedience fuels it. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are sowing into fertile ground where lives are being awakened, protected, and redirected by God's voice. The Lord declares over you, as you sow into my work, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out what you cannot contain. I am speaking to you directly now. This is not about helping a channel. This is about partnering with a calling. Do not delay obedience in this holy moment. I bless every giver with multiplied provision, divine protection, and peace that guards their household. Support now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and let your obedience become a living testimony of faith in action.